G'day and welcome to another episode. My name is Daethstro, the Aussie Geek, and today we are looking at the War for Cybertron Siege Jetfire / Skyfire. Now, I admit I had another figure I had planned for this episode, but he's currently stuck in processing. He was supposed to arrive last week, and he's not here yet. So I thought, you know what? Let's do another mainline figure, but a bit more of a special one. This was our very first Commander class figure. And he set the talking point for what, as far as I'm concerned, what the Commander class was. I think, honestly, it has gone down after Skylinks. I don't own the Commander class Rodimus or what was the other one? Rodimus. Magmatron I still don't currently have, and I didn't think Menasor, Motormaster, or Menasor himself was a decent enough Commander class figure. But that's neither here nor there. So we do have Jetfire. This is one figure that all of us wanted for the longest time, and I will admit that I know I definitely did. I do have the Thrilling 30s Jetfire, which I'll put a link to, and we'll see later for a comparison. But this guy does look really, really good. He's big. You know, he's not too. He's got a bit of a weight to him, but not too over the top. But he does look really, really good. Mine's leaning back a little bit, but that's only because of the way his legs are. Now, I admit it's coming across better on this, but it could be just my eyes. I thought my shoulders and a few other spots were starting to yellow, but I think that's just the color difference in the plastic, honestly. Now, something I always keep forgetting, you do have a lot of my brain's not working. And a lot of explosion points, not parts effects. I can't think of the word. You know, where you can stick things onto, which he does have some blast effects ports. He does come with blast effects. They come separate. Which, of course, if you can actually find one that fits, you can obviously stick it over. As whether it'll stay on is a different story. So you can have those. The big ones only have, it has the port, but I don't think that's going to kind of does. Yeah, it fits. So yeah, you have the part effect ports all over him. It's everywhere. So you have one here, on his arms, some on his legs. So yeah, you can absolutely go nuts when it comes to what this guy can do visually. Now, he does have one gimmick from the G1. Well, actually, he's got two gimmicks, but he's got one gimmick in this mode from the G1 cartoon. You have his Autobot insignia, which is actually molded in it. It's not a sticker. It's molded and painted, but you can flip it around and reveal the Decepticon badge, which, of course, for those of us who don't actually know, Jetfire's first appearance in G1 revealed that, well, in the cartoon at least, revealed that he was friends with Starscream, and when they woke him up, Starscream's like, you know what, join the Decepticon cause, yada, 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 and he took on a Decepticon badge until the end of the episode, to which he then changed back to an Autobot. So if you want a Decepticon Jetfire, that is entirely up to you. There is a few other gimmicks which we'll get to in a moment. He does have light piping. You can't really tell here, and I don't usually talk about light piping because it's not usually something my figures have. But I don't know how well you can see it. There you go. You do get light piping if you have a smaller size torch. I only have a big one. That's all I need. But yeah, he is a great Commander class figure. He does have a whole bunch of other accessories, which we'll get to in a little bit, especially when we get him back into transformation. So let's get down to articulation. I'm going to start by taking his gun out of the way, which is very, very tight in his hand. And just put that off to the side. So head can turn a full 360 if you lift his chin up. Looks up that far, looks down that far. No side to side. Arms can do a full 360, but you're going to start hitting the wings. Arms go out that far, which is nice. He has bicep rotation. You have single jointed elbows, but a feature I do like, you have this panel here, whoops, which is this one here. It will actually move a little bit. See if I can show it better. It does move to accommodate the elbow. And it is obviously ratcheted. That's not what I wanted his wrist to do. His wrist does swivel. And this is something I wish they'd bring back. It's his hand. Now, admittedly, it sort of shows off a little bit here, but when you close his fist, that pops out. How nice is that for gun hold? You don't have to plug it in here or anything like that. It's literally, it comes out when you decide to close his fist. I reckon that's great, and I haven't seen it been used since, which is kind of stupid. We have no waist swivel. Leg goes up that far, goes back that far till you start hitting the backpack. Lift up the side skirt, and that's a friction joint. There's no ratchet there. It's just all friction. You have hip rotation, which goes all the way around if you wanted to. You have single jointed knee that gets you that far with a nice bit of detail. Ankle tilt, which goes crazy. Now, if you cannot get your ankle tilt to work, it's because this tab is plugged in here. That's why. You have toe joint, and you have heel joint. So there we go. So we'll get down to size comparisons when we get him back into robot mode, but let's get him transformed. All right, first things first, what we're going to do is we're going to pull out the hand, and you have this piece here that's going to flip all the way out. Now, you do have to do a little bit of sort of, flexing when you put the hand in. So you want to go in. You might have to pull that back just a little bit to get past the knuckles. It doesn't really tab in, but that is a thing there. Also, if you don't want your hips doing this, your best bet is to actually lock those ankles. So same on the other side, fold out, bring that out, bring that in, and fold that in the best you can, like so. All right, now this does have a by the way, you can drop these if you want and flex that if you want. This does have a rather cool feature when it comes to the head, which is these doors. I'll let the camera move. These doors back here will actually hide the head. So what we're going to do is we're going to flip these out like so. And you have two tabs and ports in here. Whoops, sorry. So just pull his arms out a bit. So that way it gets that cleared. Then you want to lift the cockpit up, and his head is literally going to go into that flap. Now, you will see a little bit of it, but not much. And I think it'll actually go further in. Oh, not necessarily. I was going to say it might go further in a moment, but doesn't really. I'll just let the camera up a little bit. And what we're going to do, there's a whole lot of detail in here, which is pretty cool. All right, so we're going to just bring this out. Just sort of put that flat again and bring that all the way up. Oops. Then we can bring the nose cone up and tab that into place. And the awkward thing here is these pieces here, which are going to go actually into the side here. So what we're going to do first, or try to do first, is get these arms in place. So what you're going to do is you need to get the elbow in here. So swing it back. I'm trying to figure out how the best way to show this. Swing it back and just slide it in the best you can. So just keep wiggling it until it's not going to go any further in. And then you want it so that this port is going to go here. So what we'll do first is we're going to push in. It does have a couple of sort of tabbing point-ish things sort of here, but you're going to fold that in. I'll rotate there. Also going to drop this down to flatten that out and rotate this in. You might have to flex a little bit, and that's going to go all in, and you have this piece here, which is on here, that's going to go into the side of the body. Then you're going to push that down, and like I said, you had this port here, which is going to be on the other side. Let's try to line that up and push that in. So that's not going to go anywhere. So same on the other side. Bring that arm up, which I've just engaged that anyway. Where are we? We're going to get that elbow in as far as it'll go. Like so. Bring that down to flatten it out. Bring this around. You might have to drop the shoulder as you're doing it. And get that into there. Get that around there. And I don't think I have that compressed far enough. I think I just got it. And just tab that into place. These legs are giving me a little bit of havoc, but normally I don't have any problem with them whatsoever. And this is basically why there's no hip joint, no waist swivel in there, for the lack of a better term. Okay, so we might do this now, but we're going to try to swing this around. There's a tab that's going to go in this port here, and bring this out. So that'll tab in there. And then you have, if I can show it, there's this port here that this little tab is going to go in. And you have, sorry, I'm keeping the camera. You have this tab here that's going to go into a port back here. And there should be another tab. I'm just trying to find, I think that's actually a body tab, so maybe not. So this is going to come down, and you're just going to line things up the best you can until things are tabbed into place. There we go. I think I got one side there. So bring it around. Bring it down if it's not stuck in itself. Down. You're more likely to get the top one plugged in more than the bottom one. Where are you? There we go. I think I actually got the bottom one this time. Just trying to get that tab down. Come on. There we go. That got it. I'm just going to give it a little squeeze. Not enough that I'm going to pop everything out. All right, so then we're going to do these legs. So I'll drop the camera down. She's a little tall, but we're not looking at that part anymore. All right, might as well flip up these side skirts. And what we can do here is the legs are a little bit, it's It's awkward to get these out more than it is to get them in. But basically, you want to untab the inside groove and just sort of pull it out the best you can. And everything else is going. Because you have these two tabs that go into here. And you have this sort of groove here that goes on here. Now, it is easier to get back into, which will show better in transformation. But yeah, it can be a little bit awkward. So we're going to fold this back. And this port is going to go onto that tab. So just wiggle that double joint until you've got it. And then you have a little port in here, which is going to tab onto here. Like so. And then you can close this as far as it'll go, close this, and press to lock the ankle in place. All right, same on the other side. So your best to get that open. That actually opened easier. Get that plugged in the back. We'll get that ankle in place. Fold this down, fold that up. Bring this all down. We find that tab on the other side. Let's see if I've got it. There we go. Now, the feet, the legs, I should say, don't tab in together. So if you're looking for a tabbing point, you're not going to find one. This is your tabbing point. So what's going to happen is you have these notches on the back of these boosters. They're going to plug into these. So these are basically becoming extensions. You're going to pull up as far as it'll go, and you want it to slide back. There we go. And you want to line it up with these ports so that when it slides back, it'll fill out and then just push down. And you can fiddle with those to make them all a bit more all together. We can flip the wings up for the time being. And now we're going to do these. You're going to pull down, not all the way, not yet. You're going to fold the outer wing out. You're going to come in here the best you can and fold that out. Bring this down, and there's sort of a little locking point / tab in here. Just bring that back a bit until it goes in place. Then you can drop the wing down as far as it'll go. So down, bring it around, scratch your nose, bring down this piece, bring this around, and get it to tab into there, and bring that down. Now, we do have landing gear. We have in the knees, you bring this down, and you bring this down. And of course you have, and that's unplugged itself. You have one here as well. So undo that. And if everything is situated like it's supposed to, there is Jetfire in his alt mode. And it looks really, really good. Like, I remember this was coming out, and people like, Fans, Toys, Phoenix, and all that. But honestly, I loved this. The fact that Hasbro was making this was just, it had me excited. That should probably ship a little bit better, but it is what it is. So, there we go. He does roll, but not very well on my tablecloth. So, there is that. You can arm this guy up, which is where some of the accessories come from. I'm trying to think out the best way to actually show this off. So you have his gun, and you have this big old thing. And we'll just put him across the side for the moment. Now, I'm not going to go into a lot of detail with this right now. I'm just going to show you how this is displayed. So I'm just going to take these pieces off. whoops. You take his gun. You have these ports here and these ports here, which will go into these ones and these ones. Like so. You can take these side bits. There is a port in the side of the gun here, if you can see it. Right here. Just angle that in. Get that in, and there's a port at the back, which is what was holding it initially. So put that into, oops. Put that into there. Oops. Put that into there. Yeah. And line that up like so. And then you can take these pieces that have jumped off on me, plug those back in. What's the wrong way? And plug that back in. And then I turn the camera off. I turn the light off because we don't need it now. Why do you keep jumping out on me? Stay. Why aren't you staying in? You are the same on the other side. They're friction joints, that's why. It's not a locking point. Anyway, you have this big old port up here. And the idea is you flatten the wings out and things fall off. And you're supposed to plug that into there. And that is how basically around his accessories can be stored on his jet mode. And of course, we cannot forget, we do have those blast effects, and they can go into the back of the boosters. And now you can have him all armed up, taking out some Decepticons before he disappears after the first season. Now he does have a couple other little things. Just take those off and take this off just before it falls to bits. Obviously you can use, if you want, you can arm him up by using these plugs here or these here, all manner of things. But you can, and I'll just fold this in for the moment, you can fold these out, and now your deluxes and that have something to grab onto, and he can do the same down here. If you pull the side skirts down, you can fold these out, and yeah, he can be used for a transport. So there we go, there is that. So added play features. Right. Get that back down again after I get these out of the way. Alright, so size comparison. My wings are a bit wonky now. This should plug in somewhere. I swear to God, I missed a plug somewhere. Everything's in 1 second. Okay, so back to where I was. Alright, so size comparison. Here he is with Windblade, and as you can see, he is way, way, way bigger than she is. So there we go. All right, we'll do the other size comparisons when we get him back into robot mode. And basically, of course, we're doing the opposite. And if you really want to, like I said before, you can always have him even as a Decepticon in this mode. It's up to you. All right, we'll start with the wings. And what we're going to do is basically reverse. We're going to untab that and rotate that in. Rotate that, oops, lift the wing up a little bit. Rotate that up and fold that back. You will notice this. We'll get to it. And that can go back up. Lift that out. Fold that up. Untab that. Rotate that back. Fold that all in and up. All right, back to the legs. Fold up the wheels. This is going to be a little bit awkward, but what I find is easiest to do is try to get the legs to sort of go down. I had that worked out before, and now it doesn't want to do it for me. because these can be very awkward to actually untab. Come on. So they plug in really, really well. Try to get this up a little bit. There we go. That might help me out. Come on. There we go. It's one of the iffiest part of this transformation. I remember doing it for the first time, and it was a little scary. All right, so we can then shift all the backpack back up where it was and press that in, and we can finish with the legs. So we're going to untab where it tabbed in here, bring that down, and now that sort of tab slash this little piece here is going to go into here. So that lined up. We're going to untab and rotate this around. Now, this will be a little bit easier because what will happen is that's going to go in there, but you can give it a little bit of leeway by using the double hinge. So make it so that goes in first. Then you start swinging forward until you have everything else lined up. Then you can bring up the foot, bring out the ankle, which locks in somewhere, I'm not quite sure where, and just gently pop that tab that's actually keeping his ankle tilt from moving. So same on the other side, unpeg, feel that where it's supposed to go, unpeg this. I won't lie, that does feel a bit iffy. It hasn't broken yet, but just beware. So I didn't say it before, but these two tabs are going into here. So slide all that in, bring the foot down, bring the ankle out, give it a slight pull, try not to pinch yourself. And that's his legs all done. So we go back up with the camera. Alright, we're going to fold this to get it out of the way. These are already starting to untab on me, so just lift them up and fold them around till they're just sort of nice and comfortable, just out of the way. That's all you need them. Then what you're going to do is you're going to reach in here the best you can, and you're going to untab those ports on the back, and then just start bringing those shoulders around the best you can. And we'll do the same on the other side. Untab, untab, and just bring that shoulder around as far as it'll go. Beg my pardon, like that. So we're going to bend the nose cone so it goes in on itself like so. We can start bringing the chest down, and then as we pull the head down, it's going to free from here. We want to make sure these chest panels are facing forward. We're going to lock the nose in place. There is a port in there, I'm not quite sure where. You're going to tab this into here. Same on the other side. So bring that down and just press. And then you have these ports that are going to go into these pieces here, I believe. Or is it lower? No, it's lower. It's a little bit lower. You can't quite see, but just basically push it in until it locks into place. All right. Now we can get the hands and arms dealt with. Just fold this piece out, if you can get it out, and wiggle that elbow till you've got it absolutely free. And while we're at this angle, we can pull that hand out all the way, fold this inside, and this port is going to go into here. It's not the tightest thing, it is all friction, but never mind. Rotate that bicep and get the arm where it's supposed to go. Same on the other side, bring this piece down, wiggle your elbow till it's all the way out, and try to hope that your frictions in your hips stop moving. Rotate the bicep. Flip the hand out all the way. Fold that in. Fold that in. And that is Jetfire back in his robot mode. And it is quite a nice transformation. I won't lie, it is a really, really nice transformation. Like I said, I don't have the Motor Master or the Rodimus. I admit I want a Masterpiece style Rodimus. Jetfire and Skylings, I got those because I didn't think I'd ever actually get a Masterpiece scale figure out of that. So let's do size comparisons, then we can do some more accessories. So here he is with MP10. And as you can see, even with my raised camera, which I'll bring it down a bit, he is taller than MP10. So that's roughly about, I'd say a little bit taller he should be. But, that's a pretty good scale, honestly. So there's that. And of course, here he is with his thrilling 30s counterpart. Oh, that's what I forgot to do. I forgot to drop his side skirts down. There we go. There he is with his thrilling 30s counterpart, which, as you can see, he really does tower over. Although, admittedly, the thrilling 30s is more of the Veritech design kind, even though it turns into more of a jet. He does have some aspects. Because as all of us know, the original Jetfire was basically a VF Veritech in the red and white. There is a whole legal thing about that. That's why Jetfire basically went poof and disappeared from the show, because Robotech or Macross got the shits with the fact that they were using their design or whoever's design to sell the toy. So the character technically was fine. It's because the toy looked like a VF Veritech, which honestly I want a VF Veritech that's in original G1 colors and also the pirate version. All right, so we do have a couple other extra things we can do with this guy now that we have him in robot mode, because we can bring all those accessories back. And, okay, so we're going to have a whole lot here, really a whole lot. You have guns and just ridiculous levels of, possibilities. Like there's ports all over the place. This here. That if you can figure out how to use it, have the one on the back. You fold those down. You have under here. You have under here. Here, if you can get them to work. There's ports at just everywhere. I kind of do wish that the cockpit was open, but yeah. So then we have all this stuff. So basically everything I was dropping off. And what we can do is we can unplug everything, because there's his original gun. All right, so let's arm this guy up a little bit differently. You can split this in half, which I think is rather cool. And this is the original handle. You can flip that up and create a second one. Come over here and you can flip this one down, and you can, if you want, put them rather tightly into both his hands. You have these ones, which can go in his hands if you want, but as the instructions show, they go onto here. So one on this side and one on this side, like so. You have, let's do these ones first. You have these, which that one has a handle, that one doesn't. So you can still use this one as a gun if you want. But that's where we come back here, and it's weird because I didn't realize this until I was starting to do this. You have a port on the back here, which, for those of us who went to school, if I can focus it, is a hexagonal port. That is a rectangle port. Yet that's apparently where it's supposed to go. So much for school. All right, so I'm just pulling the other one off and plug those in. Like I said, you can peg these wherever you want. I'm just going with the way the instructions show this off. Now you have these ones that don't have gun ports per se, but what you do is if you lift the wing up just a little bit, I should have done it beforehand, and I'm not showing off anything at this point. So if you lift this out and then just enough, you can get this port to pop out. Fold that back, but keep that port out. You take this and you take this port where the other handle was actually plugged into, and you plug that into there. So it looks like that. So it's probably a good idea to do this before you put the backpack ones on, but I've done it in slightly wrong order. Fold that out, take the other one, and plug that onto there. But we're not done yet. You're going to come in here and you're going to flip that port out, and this one, if I can get my nail into it. Oops. That one's a bit tight. Now, you don't necessarily have to do this because honestly, these work just fine. But you're going to take this big old piece. Now, this big old piece also probably would be helpful to have a tool, because this piece opens, if you can get your nail in there, and you have a mask. Now, this mask plugs in really, really, really tightly. So, I got that out. But basically, you have this peg here, just inside, that plugs into here. So it's rather tight, and then you can fold that back down, press that in, and you have these two ports here, which are going to go onto these two pegs. Like I said, you can plug this on without it, because I want to say this port here goes onto this peg here, and it's actually pretty secure. It feels like there should be a peg here, but I'm not feeling anything. So hopefully I line things up properly. And nope, I don't think I got that. Like I said, you don't have to use these. I'm doing it just for the sake of showing that it's doable, possibly, maybe. I don't think I'm quite lining up properly. Somehow, maybe one of these is too far out. Problem is I can't. It's all about the feel. There we go. It's all about the feel. It's not about the likelihood. So we're almost done. We have this, and we have, like I said, this port. It's going to go in here. It's going to be really, really tight. So just be aware of that, and just line that up, press it in, and there is Jetfire in his, what I'm going to call, Macross mode, in his Robotech mode. So this isn't exactly a perfect one-to-one alteration to the Veritech look. It is, however, a nice alteration to it to sort of give you the feel of the G1 toy aesthetic with a new look. So that is it. You know, it does look good. Of course, you can put, you know, your ports on any of these. You will find that if you try to plug the big ones in together, they're probably not going to fit, but they don't fit anyway. They don't fit. Yes, it does, 2 out of 3. There you go. That goes in, but that feels really loose. So there is that. I'm just going to put them all back together. And of course, you can put it in the jetpack and all that if you want. So yeah, there is Jetfire in his Macross mode. And as I said, you can put all this stuff however you want. If you want, you can do like I did with Thrilling 30s and just have all this gone and keep the visor. It should be light piping because it is see-through. I don't know how well it's going to come across. So you're going to just make it out. I need a smaller torch for this. Also, it doesn't help his backpack's in the way. So there you go. Just make it out there. But like I said, a lot of my stuff isn't light piping, so I've never really bothered with it. So there we go. So if you liked this video, give me a thumbs up. If you didn't like this video, give me a thumbs down. I promise you it will not hurt my feelings. Subscribe. Oh, that's what I didn't do. Sorry about this. But we do have one more size comparison that I completely forgot about. Here he is. With Commander Class, Earthrise, Skylinks. So that's him all together. So yeah, he's still bigger than Skylinks, but they just work out well together. So there we go. I apologize. I literally had him on the floor and was almost forgot about him. Sorry, Skylinks. But let's try that again. So if you liked this video, give me a thumbs up. If you didn't like this video, give me a thumbs down. I promise you it will not hurt my feelings. Subscribe, ring that bell, leave me a comment. But apart from that, thanks for watching. I'll catch you later.